All right. Thank you for putting up with my shenanigans. Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode number. I don't remember what we're on. I think we're on an episode. It'll be in the title. You get it. You get the idea here. And as part of the third episode of our kind of guest spotlight that we've been doing, we are joined by a good friend of the show. Introduce yourself.
Hi there. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Thank you for having me, Mr. Shoes.
Yes.
And my name is I'm Chris. I make
Yes.
interesting music on the internet full time now, and that's what I do. And but thank you so much for having me on. What's good?
Of course, it's an honor. It's an honor. It's been a long time coming. Oh man. So, I mean, is there any? Well, did you do any of your ads? Where can people find you? Like, really plug.
Oh
yourself.
yeah, shit. I should
Really?
probably do that. I just changed all of my socials. Finally.
That's why I'm reminding you.
Thank
'cause I know
you for that.
Like,
Thank you for
I was
that.
like,
I completely whiffed on that. I go by on all my social media now. Who is I'm Chris, and you can also find me on Twitch at Bo Twizzle, which was my old handle from high school. I live stream and play funny video games and make music and review music on there. Excuse me, I almost burped really loudly into the microphone.
I do that all the time on the podcast. It's perfectly
I feel like I have
fine.
like chest pains right now, but
If you
but
got
yeah,
a burp
no.
on the podcast, do it.
Let that baby loose.
Let it just do it.
Let her just slip out. I bet.
Just do it.
But yeah, no, and you can also find me on Spotify and Apple Music, the whole shabazz at just I'm Chris. If you type that in, I show up, so don't worry.
There we go.
But yeah, that's who I am. That's what I do. What's good?
Not much. So, I mean, we kind of it's kind of just like a shoot from the hip, shoot the shit kind of podcast. But
Alright.
I do have a few questions prepared for you, obviously.
Sure.
So the first one, I do want to take it with some kind of like sincerity and like seriousness. It's usually like, just start off on like a really kind of serious foot here.
Nice.
Tits or ass? I couldn't even
Tits.
sell it. Fuck.
Dude, the second you went to the actual question, it was gone. I was like, there is no sincerity, there is no seriousness. I'm an ass man. I'm an
You're
ass man. I will answer
Okay.
this with sincerity. Ass is always better.
It is a
Ass
sincere
always
question, isn't it?
better. It is. I feel like it does say a lot about somebody. Like their values, their principles.
What do you value? Yeah, your principles as a person.
I
Are you
value
a
that
tits man?
fucking wagon, baby. That shit's that's my jam.
Yeah, dude, yeah.
I'm an ass guy.
All right. So I will say that means that I think in terms of the guests now, we have two ass people and one tits person.
Really?
Yeah. Which brought us into like an interesting conversation though. I feel like breasts are on I said this when Wonka was on. That we're having like a breast-assance right now.
We're having
It's
a
been
breast.
a renaissance of the breast.
Like, how so? Do you think that, like, because here's the thing to me. And it's the age-old adage, right? Where it's like, big booby, no butt,
Yeah.
Big booby, or big butt, little booby, yeah.
Yes.
Big booby, big butt, also yeah. Like,
Also,
I'm not,
yeah.
like, I'm never, like, going to, and obviously I love all women. Shout out women. We respect you no matter how you look.
Yeah.
But, and I'll love you no matter how you look, too. It's about what's inside. That's right. I'm looking to sell your kidney on the dark web. But
There we go.
it's like
Perfect.
to me, it's like I don't know. The attraction point's always the butt. I'm like, that is something you have to work for, or it's something that just by the grace of God you obtain. I feel like boobies are just kind of the genetic lottery.
Yeah.
Boobies are just
Damn.
kind of and that's not fair. I like to me, I don't think that's fair. And yeah, we can't have a breast-assance. Like, yes, I get it. I've seen Sydney Sweeney. I think she's
everybody
a pretty lady.
says that. That's the first person.
But that's one person. There's also Sabrina Carpenter, who is a small booby, big butt, and it's like, that's what I'm saying.
Oh, hell
I'm
yeah,
saying
dude.
I really hope that there are podcasts out there that do this same kind of question about dudes. Like,
Yeah. Oh, please. Yeah.
I mean, to be
Please,
fair, like,
yeah.
it's interesting when I've talked to the women that I've, either seen or just women that I'm, please don't tell me. Oh, no. Oh, my framed photo of Rough Patch almost fell.
Oh, no.
Yeah, my dear sweet, the producer for my last album, Surge Protector. If
Yeah,
only
oh, yeah,
he were here,
plug
he'd
that.
answer this question. He
Yeah.
looks beautiful, doesn't he?
I bet he's an ass man.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure he is. I feel like we've had the conversation before. I feel like every dude does. But it's like when I talk to women about like what they find interesting in other women or other men or anywhere on the binary, it's never like the it's never just butt or like boo or muscles. It's like nose.
Yes.
It's no. And look, I'm not gonna lie. Like I feel like dudes, or at least those on the masculine side of things, right? Like we think about that because it's like if someone has a big nose and you're into it, you realize it and you're like, oh, like I don't know. Like I feel like everybody. I don't like to think I have a type, but like we point those things out. But for girls, it's like a primary attraction point, or those on the feminine side of the spectrum. You feel me? It's like
no, for
it's
sure.
like eyebrows. I've gotten so many girls that have been like, your eyebrows are so hot, and I'm just like,
you wouldn't even thought about that, right?
I would have never thought about it once. And I feel like it's those things that it's like those subtleties that show the difference in the mindset, you know what I mean? And it's just like that's why girls fucking rule, and a lot of guys fucking suck. We're just like, is that thing big or is that thing big? And they're just like, I just like his forearms. It's like if I knew that was it, like one of them just told me it was my confidence.
Yeah.
My confidence! Like, I was like, I didn't have to go to the gym! It's like...
Didn't have to go to the gym to build my... Well, no, you do go to the gym to build your confidence, I guess. But, like, also,
That's true. That's true.
It's not like a physical thing, but, like... well, oh, man, you made a really good point about something, and that's like, oh, fuck. Well, all I was going to say was, isn't it so perfect that we're making this point and we are two guys on a podcast talking about tits or ass?
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, I was like, are there any other, like, I'm like, there definitely is. Like, they have these conversations, like, what are you into with a guy?
Yeah.
But it's like, it never comes down, there is no, like, A or B question. Which is
balls.
Like, it's not like, are you more of a cock guy or more of a ball guy? It's like,
well, actually, funny you bring that up though. When I had Kiki's Infinity Service was last week's guest, and on the Patreon version, which by the way, if you want to stick around, we do an extra half hour on the Patreon. That's what I'm saying. Sorry, I have to plug my Patreon. $5 a month.
I need to make one of those.
You do it.
I should.
You just put all your extra stuff up on there. We got into a conversation about cock and balls, and also sorry if you can hear my dog like monkeying around in the back.
No,
there.
that's
She's
fine.
Going crazy.
That's all good. If Bo was in here, you'd do the same.
So, like, we like very, I guess, kind of jokingly talked about like cocker balls, but it like brought me to that thought of like, yeah, no, there's really no comparison with like guys. It's just like, you know. Because it's a very like novel, like very novelty question of like cocker balls. Like that's just funny, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like that's just a bit. Like
that's a bit.
I mean, like some people might have a preference. I mean, like everybody's got a preference for everything. Yeah. I feel like, you know,
okay, I gotta let my dog out. Keep talking about this.
Yeah, no worries.
I'll be back
that's
in
fine.
1 second.
Hey, audience, you having fun? You having a good time? This is a great first 5 minutes of this conversation. I like the little chili pepper gently dangling in the wind. You know what? You know what I'm gonna do? You know, while Trip isn't here, I'm going to read a poem by Robert Frost. We're going to read a Robert Frost poem together. Let's see. Best poem. Here we go. Two roads diverged in a yellow wood. I'm sorry I could not travel both. And be one traveler long I stood. And looked down one as far as I could to where it bent in the undergrowth. Robert Frost, The Road Not Taken. I was reading. I was trying to enrich your audience after that. After the nice intro question.
Yeah.
Now we can get back into it. Anyways.
Palate cleanse, yeah.
Yeah, it was a nice palate cleanse. But yeah, I feel like also like what girls would like about a man's ass is different from what a guy would like about a girl's ass. Oh, yeah, I know girls that are like, you got a cute butt. And I'm like, oh, it's cute. Like, what the fuck does that mean?
I'll take it, you know?
I think it's just like toned. I don't know. Apparently I got a nice ass for a man. And I'm cool with that.
That's great. Show it off now. No.
Yeah, I'm not showing off the wagon on the podcast.
No.
That's going to go on the Patreon. Yeah. That's a Patreon exclusive right there.
That's the Patreon.
You pay to see that. Go to a show.
Actually, well, you should. Are you doing any shows soon?
I am.
I know you are. So
I'm trying to do 10 this year, which is a big ask, but I'm going to try. Yeah. Right now, confirmed, we have Phoenix, Arizona in about 2 weeks from when we record this podcast, June 27th. Cool. Atlanta, Georgia, we're doing in July. And then after that, we just got confirmed. We're finalizing the dates. New York City, early August. Arlene's Grocery, a classic venue I've played many times before. I love that one. I'm looking to be doing Ann Arbor, Michigan now. That's going to be a fun one. There's a great place that I've been asked to go a million times by Michigan fans. I believe it's the Spotted Pig or the Blind Pig. One of the two.
Good name.
I'm looking at Chicago. I'm looking at New Jersey because that's just my hometown. Maybe Seattle. I haven't played Seattle before. and then maybe
Okay.
one more New York show before the end of the year. So it'd come out to around like 8 or 9 right now, and I'm looking for something to fill that void for 10. Maybe North Carolina, just an easy one for me to just drive to, play, and come back.
There you go.
Because they've been asking me to come back for a minute. So
Nice. Well, I have good news for you.
what's good?
I just booked you to do the New Year's Eve ball drop in New York City.
No,
Yeah.
dude, no, really?
That's right. Yeah.
You did it. Oh
They
my
just
God.
fucking canceled. Termites ate the
Termites?
ball.
Termites ate
Termites
the ball?
ate the ball. Termites
They ate
ate the ball.
They make that out of wood still?
They still, yeah, they had to cut, it was like budget cuts, tariffs and stuff like that this
Oh,
year.
that's
They kinda
fair,
had to,
that's fair.
They had to cheapen it, and of course they happened to just choose the termite-ridden wood.
Yeah, you guys have you have no idea how many Chinese guys died building that ball every year, so the tariffs went through the roof, dude. You're fucked. We're fucked. You know, it's
No.
like Dick Clark may have had a couple strokes, but you know, he said one thing and they want to respect his wishes. He was like, I want the worst Chinese factory making this ball.
Yeah.
And they thought like, you know what, that's gonna make it really cheap, but you know, like, you know, Donald Trump fucking, you know, ruining everything.
They thought the
One day-
termites were going to reinforce it. Actually, that it was a choice design. Actually,
Yeah.
And, I just got word that well, your show's canceled. Sorry,
I
I'm
mean,
the
no,
world's
it's fine.
worst agent.
Dude, you know, it's fine. Like, Anderson Cooper probably wouldn't have fucked with my shit. To be
He wouldn't
honest.
have fucked with Surge Protector. or
Who's
anything
the
like that.
person? Who is the fucking lady that always like goes with Anderson Cooper? It's Kathy Griffith, isn't it? She's like an old comedian.
Oh yeah,
The
yeah,
redhead
wait.
that's like 95, but like still like kicking. She looks great for 95.
I don't know if she's 95, but she. 95
She's up there.
does.
She's up there, cousin. But
Really?
oh yeah, no, but she gets hammered every year. Like I love
that
it.
rocks,
She's
dude.
my favorite part. Like
Yeah, Kathy Griffin. Okay, let me see. How old is she?
Griffith, maybe.
No,
She's
it's
in like
Griffin.
her.
Oh, she's 64.
That's what I'm saying, and she looks
no.
great. She looks amazing. She's stunning,
Yeah.
but she gets fucking trashed. That's like
I
she's
feel
been
like you
hitting,
can't get trashed at that age anymore.
but she can. That's what I mean. She's standing out in like fucking -5 degrees in the middle of Times Square with a bunch of people pissing themselves just to shake someone's hand. I don't even know why you go. New Year's Eve is like the dumbest fucking thing to go stand out and do.
Stay home and get drunk.
Yeah, it's like
Stay home and get drunk.
if you're there, you're not paying for fucking Christmas time New York hotels. You're either living there, or you know somebody with a rental property. Like,
Yeah.
go stay home. You can see it from fucking space. Like, just be in New York around the time. Go see the Christmas tree.
It's probably so much more enjoyable to just watch it on TV at home.
I know one person who
have
did
people
it, and they
home,
said
like-
they would never do it again because
Oh, really?
you get locked in there at 6 p.m.
Oh no! Oh,
Some people
no!
come earlier, so it's like there are people who camp out, sit till like from like 10 a.m. to get a good spot. So the dudes you see in the front row, they've been there since like the morning.
You're
there
that's
for-
dedication to the game, bro.
Yeah, no, that's dedication
But what
getting
game?
fucking pneumonia. It's like, well,
I
yeah,
was
yeah.
gonna say, like, what game? Dedication
Bro.
to something, but is it worth it? Like,
And once you're in there, you can't leave. So it's like if you have to shit, people
going
wear
nuts.
diapers. Why would you fucking go to any event that makes you have to shit yourself?
that was the
That's-
same way with a lot of concerts back. Like, even nowadays, actually, with a lot of like big music festivals, it's why like I get such bad anxiety in like big crowds and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
I went to. It was like I think it was like 20. Oh wow, this is actually a weird callback. December of 2019. I
Oh,
think,
wow.
Yeah, like right before shit hit the fan. I think it was like a few days before New Year's Eve. Me and my mom and a few like family friends went to New York City.
Yeah.
And obviously a bunch of people. Like it was a few days after. It was like between Christmas and New Year's Eve. And
That's a wild
like,
time.
oh yeah, dude, I had to get so high beforehand to cope with being in that big old crowd, and then what I didn't anticipate was that being high was going to make it worse.
Oh yeah, no, I was gonna
It was
say
like,
like
it
if there's
sucked.
one thing that like actively worsens my experience in large social gatherings, it's weed every time.
Yeah.
Like weed is the thing that I do like once every couple of months. I watch a movie in my bed and I go the fuck to sleep. It's like
the way to do it.
that is a delightful evening for me. And it's
Yeah.
rare, but I do it. It's like every time I've smoked in public, I want to die. I remember one
It's
time
like,
I
I
just
just want
had
to go home. Like
I had to drive high from my house to a quick check in New Jersey, that was about half a mile. It was maybe a 5-minute drive.
Oh.
It felt like it took 2 hours. I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like every car I passed was a fucking police officer. And I told my then girlfriend at the time that it was like I was playing Mario Kart in like real life. Like I'm holding a controller for my body. And she was like, I am never letting you fucking smoke and leave the house ever again.
Oh my God.
And I understood why she did that. It was poor decision. I was like, I should probably just learn how to drive high. So I was just like, I'll smoke.
That's really good. That's really good advice to everybody. Hey guys, learn to drive high.
Yeah, learn to drive high. Learn to drive high. Just the same way you should learn how to drive drunk. The first step is perseverance.
Yes.
The second step is determination. And the third step is flexibility. Those three things, if you think about them, while you're driving drunk or high, will assist you in avoiding all law enforcement. If you do get pulled over, you make a joke out of it. You see, if I was high or I was drunk, I would try and like fake act drunk or high so that they'd think he's joking. He's just kidding. Like I would go, "What's the officer problem?" Ha ha ha! Just kidding. I'm not drunk or high. What's good?
Sober as a nun. Is it sober as a nun, as they say? Yeah, like
sober as a nun.
Is it sober as a nun?
I've never heard anyone
say that to the cops. Say that to the cops. So wait, actually, no. What's the word? Sober as a something. Sober as a nun or something. I don't know.
Sober as a saint. Like is that it?
Sober as a saint, probably something like that.
Yeah, this has a little bit of like what's the word for like assonance to it, where like it's sober saint with a nice S in the front.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah. Well, of course, all jokes, please never intoxicate yourself and then drive.
No, do it.
Yeah, if you're gonna do it for a YouTube video, record it.
Do it for the Vine.
Do it for the Vine. Do it for the TikTok.
I heard the handpan guy that's singing Happy Birthdays kind of going broke right now. He'll do it for like $10.
Wait, who? Wait, what?
You know the guy that plays the handpan thing. It's like boom, bring, dum, dum,
I know many people who do that, but
oh well, there's like one guy on TikTok. He's like a big dude with like beard and dreads. And he's like, "It's your birthday, happy birthday." That guy, you've never seen that?
I've never seen that.
You know, that's the crazy thing about celebrity nowadays. It's like there's people that are just out there that have like millions of followers that it's like
you've no fucking clue.
Dude, that's Grub 75. It's like, what does he do?
Oh,
he fucking goes on VR chat and fucking like doxes people, and I'm like, that's a fucked up reason to like pop off, but okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't care about Grub 75. That sounds fucked up.
Yeah, Grub 75. If you're watching this right now, dude, kick rocks. Honestly, dude.
No, deadbeat. Cope.
Deadbeat, yeah. I would actually lose my mind if there was just like, even if it's like somebody who watches the podcast,
just,
like made
just
an account.
One dude with Grub 75, like what the fuck, man?
It's like, oh man, I've been a day one fan. What the fuck, dude? Like,
I'm really disappointed. You know, like I understand that my choices aren't for everyone, but like, dude, this is where I draw the line. You know, like, I need to stand up for me.
Slander on my favorite podcast? How dare he? Like, that'd be really funny. Okay, so to kind of to get into like the next question, this one's like, it's like I wrote this down and I think I had a different tone in mind for it, but I'm just gonna read it out.
Word.
Because you're a musician,
yeah,
and you obviously you know a lot about other musicians and kind of the cultural zeitgeist right now and what's popular.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Benson Boone?
Oh boy. Look, I'm not gonna
this one
tell
was
you.
a stoned thought that I wrote down. So
I'm not gonna tell you anything that hasn't been said about the man before. I mean, look,
right.
Genuinely seems like a nice guy. That's one thing I can say.
That, yeah.
He seems like a cool dude, so I'm never gonna dig into him as a person. Like I remember so many people like, he's so gross, and because he wore a fucking unitard, and I'm like, dude, there are like maybe maybe two dudes in history that pulled off unitards, and I'm pretty sure it's like Elton John, and it's not because like he pulled it off, it's just because he did it.
Yeah.
And Freddie Mercury, who actually pulled it off, in my opinion, and at least Benson Boone's going for the porn stash with that. You know, it's like
I will say I do think that like some of the hate surrounding him just feels like a little bit. I will admit I've contributed to it. I will constantly on my streams like mock what's that one song that he has? It's like I'll go, please stay.
Oh yeah.
Like I do that all the time.
But that's what I'm willing to discuss. It's like, look, I am in no way, shape, or form able to critique objectively, Benson Boone's music, because I don't have multi-platinum hits and I make my own shit and there's flaws with my shit. But you know what I can say? That shit sound like he premiered it on the Kmart loudspeakers.
Yes. It sounds like it's meant for like commercial.
Target. It was meant for Target. I've heard some people call him the white man's Adele. And I'm like, that's number one. You're disrespecting Adele because she was fucking awesome.
Yeah, she's fantastic.
But yeah, no, like so my grandmother, like this is exactly how you know what kind of music it is. My grandmother sent me a Benson Boone song before I knew who he was, and she was like, "You must know this guy, right? He's amazing." And I was like, "I actually don't know this guy. Let me listen to this." And you know, it's the same way when like your uncle shows you Joyner Lucas, or like your uncle shows you a Logic song and goes, "This is it.
This is it.
This is the one. This is the one."
Pulse right now.
And it's like the Hotline song, which doesn't even work anymore because we live in hell. But which makes it even weirder.
Did you hear what he said about that recently?
What? Who?
Like, heard what Logic said about that song recently?
That he regrets it?
He regrets it, and it was like really weird because he was like,
you can't
got really
backsies on that.
I was gonna say backsies on it, but he was like, so the controversial topic here, which is like taking your own life, not controversial, sorry, sensitive topic here. But he said on a podcast, he said that he's like, if I do it, like take my own life, he's like, that will become the biggest joke because I made that song. And I'm like, that's a really weird outlook to have on it.
That feels like he's struggling and he should maybe consider calling the hotline or other resources available to us.
That's where I was like, ooh, wow, you're like kind of like missing the point of the original.
He made it about him.
That comment. That is how I felt about it, because I remember listening to him on that podcast, him say that, and I was like, that's such a weird
podcast.
I don't remember. I think it's that. What's that girl? Bobby
the industry plant lady? Yeah, she sucks. She's a horrible person. That's somebody who I'm willing to say is a horrible person because they documented how horrible she was.
Okay.
Bobby Altoth sucks, and don't let I see her name starting to come up again. There's been enough video essays that have proven to me that she does not deserve fame, and she disrespects a lot of musicians. Don't. Let's just not let that happen. All right, everybody. I believe in you, but in terms of Benson Boone, right? It's like
back to Benson. Yeah.
The problem is that there is nothing there that shows me who Benson Boone is compared to like every other artist.
Harry Styles.
It's like they have something that makes them contentious. They have something that like, you know what? I said this the other day. It's like, you can be cringe or you can be boring. There is no in between.
Yeah.
You have to have audacity as a creative. Like, I hate to be like that. It's like, do you know how audacious it is just to start doing this shit, let alone continue with it? Especially when things haven't started popping off yet. It's like, dude, I've been losing followers on Instagram left and right because I'm consistently posting reels. I'm just literally just making content people see, but that's too much for some people, and so they unfollow, and that's fine.
Yeah.
Because now I'm starting to gain followers more than I lose them, and it's balancing out. It's like, okay, so I'm just weeding out people who don't want to see my content or promote my music, and I'm getting people who do. You have to be audacious to make it to do something, and so
absolutely
for a lot of creatives, I'm thinking like the Harry Styles, who it's like, yeah, he was in one direction, but then came out of left field and kind of just became like the wacky Paul McCartney of that group. That's like, I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want, and I'm gonna fly around a lake for a bit and scream on a guitar, or I'm gonna make a weird, funky David Bowie ripoff. He's doing something that makes you think and makes you feel. Benson Boone can make you feel because number one, he's an amazing vocalist, and you can sing fucking
voice,
you can sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star, and if you got a voice, you're gonna feel something. The problem is that the lyrics have been so watered down.
Yeah.
It's like he has a song my grandmother sent me called like Mama, and I think she was just like, I hope you love me, and like she's just like, oh, I was like, I love you, Grandma. I love my grandma.
That is still sweet though. That is still very
it's so sweet, but it was like, it's literally just like, Mom, take me back to where you lived. Show me pictures because I'm gonna need to think about you. And I'm like, okay, Benson, what does your mother look like? And he can't say that because then it doesn't relate to the most amount of people.
It doesn't appeal to anybody. Yeah, it doesn't appeal. It's not personable
but
to
that's
him.
That's the problem. It's like by doing it where he's trying to make this song, get some 19-year-old girl to buy concert tickets to go, I love my mom. By not talking about his own mother, it feels empty. It feels like boiled chicken with nothing on it. It feels
like a product.
Yeah, it's commercialized pop. It is. It's pop music. Like, look, if I'm being real, pop music is the cheeseburger of music. That's what it is. Yeah. Like, if you everybody compares food and music. They always do. And it's like, commercial pop music is fast food. It is something that it's easy to relate to. It's easy to understand the message. It's easy to vibe with. It's inoffensive. It's delicious. I'm a sucker for good pop music. I think a great example of somebody subverting it, it's typically all the Disney Channel people I've noticed. Sabrina Carpenter. She's a great example of a good... Yeah, she was a Disney Channel kid, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay.
They all are in some...
Oh, okay.
If look, I hate to be like that. Her grandmother's Meryl Streep. She was a Disney Channel kid.
Wait, are you serious with the Meryl Streep? Wait.
Look this up. She's related to Nancy Cartwright, who voiced Bart Simpson, and Meryl Streep. So I'm like, dude, she was born she was made in a lab in a TV network from cheek cells from fucking Nancy Cartwright when they bought Disney Plus.
That is oh wow. Actually, wow.
I do my research with these things. But you know what the difference is? Sabrina Carpenter has actual talent, and she made music that was considered dog shit for 4 years, and then blew up because Taylor Swift was like, hey, you're horny and also funny, and you make good pop music. That's a good combo, because you have a fucking soul. Authenticity is the most important thing in music.
That's what I was going to say about that, okay, again, not to say Benson Boone's, inauthentic. Well,
yeah, no, he's probably talking about real shit. He's just watering it down. He's layering it behind enough masks where some dude in, who's lived a completely different lifestyle than him, let's say a dude in, Muncie, Alabama. That's why so many people like country music, too. It makes them live a fantasy that they've never actually experienced, because I hate to be like that. There ain't many farmers left who drive pickup trucks. It's the giant international harvester does all my job for me. Yeah. And I don't have a bar in my hometown because to own a farm, you need to be a multimillionaire. But
yeah. Oh no, yeah. That whole facade is just so it's
been manufactured from the beginning.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I actually, interesting that you brought up country music right now. I would argue that it's probably the most, in terms of outside of pop music, Benson Boone and stuff like that, I would argue that it's the most what you could consider to be a subculture genre. It's the biggest one right now.
Yeah, no, it is, and it's because, well, number one, a lot of times people who are buying into this, and I'm not saying everybody who listens to country music is like this. That's not true. I enjoy me some Chris Stapleton. I do, because you want to know why? That dude's a genuine red dirt guy who just sings about oh man, my daughter's coming into the world, and he wrote an album about that, and I'm like, that's fucking awesome, and he just likes country music. Now there's kind of this situation where the country music that was manufactured has inspired a generation of people who live in the country to make that country music. So you can't say everybody, but one of the biggest fucking country stars was from fucking Australia, man. It's this is unknown. Keith Urban. Keith Urban's from Australia. That's what I mean.
Oh wow! Wouldn't even thought of that. Wow.
And you know who the most people I hear listening to country don't come. I'm living in the American South right now. I don't hear country very often. I hear hip hop all the time. You know where I do hear it? Southern New Jersey.
Yeah.
Specifically in Republican neighborhoods.
Yeah. No.
I'm not trying to be that guy. That's what I was trying to dance around.
It's a huge thing where I live, and I don't live in the South whatsoever. I'm full New England and everything. And I'm why is this such a weirdly popular thing? Even when I was in high school, the whole idea of being redneck was really popular, and I'm do you guys realize where we live? Do you realize,
wrong side of the Mason-Dixon line, cousin?
Yeah, I was we're
it's a fetish.
Not us.
If I'm being weird, and I don't mean it in a sexual way, I mean it in the psychological way. It's the fetishization of what is American culture. There's so many people punk is a subculture that is fully reliant on being anti everything. You know what I mean? That's why, to me, the punk movement right now is this, which you know, I don't want to get off the main point by bringing up another point that's interesting.
Right.
People see something they're not, but it makes them feel like they're a part of something cool.
Inclusion, yeah.
They feel included in something, and I hate to be like that. When Lil Wayne hit the suburbs, there were a lot of white kids that didn't get it. There were.
Yeah.
There were a lot of white kids that wanted to get it, and they also fetishized that culture, unfortunately. There's like a great book on how those guys like changed pop music forever, because I hate to be like that, all pop music now is using like hip hop style beats for the most part. And it has for the last 20 years.
I would say from like 2015 onward, almost all pop music has at least some kind of like trap influence or some kind of hip hop influence to it.
Big time.
And it became such a big thing. Like, I think it really reached its peak around like, I want to say 2017. Remember, like, it was like my senior year of high school. I remember like every new album that was coming out, I was like, why is everything like influenced? And then I was like, oh, okay. Like, you kind of trace it back and you're like, oh, that makes sense. But it's also like, not everything needs that influence.
It makes people feel. It makes people feel like they're a part of something that and even if they've never experienced it, it's like authenticity. Though in a lot of music has been manufactured, and like for example, a lot of people don't know this. Do you know what the first before records even existed, there were wax cylinders.
Yes.
There were wax cylinders made by the Edison Corporation in New Jersey. Shout out New Jersey once again. Do you know what the first two genres of music were that they sold? There were two sections in the store.
I do not actually.
Race music and everything else.
Oh.
Yeah. So this is a thing that's been completely manufactured. Like completely manufactured, and race music included a subcategory known as hillbilly music. So literally, if you weren't a white dude in New York, you got hillbilly music, which was literally a bunch of songwriters in Tin Pan Alley in New York City's interpolation of what they thought bluegrass sounded like, what they thought folk music would sound like, because America didn't have a unified culture.
Yes,
we didn't. So they made one up. They were like, oh, we heard this song down in Louisiana once. Okay, well, we'll just make it a little more palatable. We'll throw in some jazz chords, some razzmatazz in here. Yeah. And boom, it's hillbilly music now. It's literally this. Yeah, literally it was race music and everything else. It was classical music. It was Broadway and show tunes, and then it was literally like, unfortunately, minstrel music. And early gospel, like bluegrass and hillbilly music went to race music. So even like you were considered race music if you were making Southern music.
Wow.
Because they viewed them as inferior. It's a serious unfortunately the music industry is rooted in racism. It is.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. A lot of things.
I mean, everybody. You know? It's kind of hard to separate them. Let's not say rooted, but it was a core component of how to sell a part of it, commercially to a bunch of racist people. It's Yeah, so when you think about
history
that
lesson here, holy shit, that's actually insane. Wow.
I geek out about this stuff.
No, but keep going off. Like I'm like, wow, we're learning. I'm learning something.
Well, that's why what I think is interesting right now is the revival of the punk movement. And I'm not talking about like dudes with like fucking mohawks. I'm talking about the punk mindset and everything.
Yeah. Okay, so I was gonna say, are you talking about the guys with like anarchy tattoos that drive Teslas though, or like
not necessarily even? Yeah, I'm thinking like what's becoming more popular. It was funny. I was just at the Governor's Ball. If you want to talk about like popular music festivals and stuff.
Oh yeah, I saw you there. Yeah,
and there were a bunch of great acts. Don't get me wrong, but if you ever told some dude who went to like I don't know, Coachella in 2000, right, like the year 2000.
Yeah.
Like literally the same 10 artists would play every music festival. If you ever told somebody the lineup for the first day of a major music festival would include a guy who dresses up in a mask and an army uniform on a green shipping container, singing very poorly over pop songs that he created for Justin Bieber, and also like a boom bap rap track about I'm trying to think of a lyric that gets the point across from Tyler the Creator that does OG Tyler the Creator that doesn't like say something fucked up. But
something
it's hard.
You can't. Yeah.
Yeah, like the music video includes him, like trying to hang himself and eat a roach. If you told me he's the headliner And then, you know, like you'd have, you know, this, basically, I mean, I don't even know how to describe JPEG Mafia. You have JPEG Mafia.
Oh, yeah.
And you have a dude who's making like, I guess the best comparison for him is, who's the dude who sings, I can feel it coming in the air tonight.
Phil
Yeah,
Collins?
you have a dude who's basically like making like futuristic versions of Phil Collins music, and 90% of the stage is covered in smoke, and he's one of the headliners for it. Like,
That's
I'm talking
crazy comparison there.
That's what I mean. It's like, no, like what you used to get was Britney Spears, and it was a girl, a conventionally attractive girl in a skirt with 25 backup dancers, and that was the show. Now you're getting like a dude who literally the whole scene was covered in smoke, and he has a modular synthesizer like the one behind me on the side of the thing, and to transition between songs, he literally just warps everything, and it's clipping and feedback looping, and then it goes into the next song. Like,
Nobody would believe it.
Yeah, nobody would believe that that's all you get at the music festival. You know, like, also like a 600-pound rapper from Texas, like Big X the Plug. You know, like you're talking, there's so much more diversity in music now, and that's because I love that, you know, like, because I hate to be like that. Everybody's like, I miss when there was somebody who said, I miss when there were gatekeepers in music, and I said, I don't, because a record exec would look at me and go, you're not hot enough, and then just not take my music. Literally, they just go, you don't have the look.
Yeah.
People take for granted that like these people are able to speak their minds, but you didn't have, like, the closest thing you had to like a conventional pop act at the entire festival was Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Think about that.
The closest thing?
The closest thing. So
and
it's like
she's a little removed, I think.
Oh, and here's what I was trying to get at. I'm sorry, I finally found my point. Benson Boone was at that music festival.
Did you watch him perform?
No, he played right before Tyler the Creator, and you want to know what told me enough? There were more people singing his one big hit, that beautiful thing that I've done, in the crowd waiting for Tyler the Creator than who were at the crowd.
Oh.
Yeah. There were more people waiting for Tyler the Creator to start humming along and going, these beautiful things that I've done. Literally taking videos of themselves like they're there. It's like, they didn't come for him.
No, fuck no.
Yeah. Nobody came for him.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you ever told them Britney Spears isn't the main attraction, it's going to be the Wu-Tang Clan, they would go, no. The Wu-Tang Clan is like, the Wu-Tang Clan is a subsect for, like, you know, some of the crazier fellas to have some fun. They're a side act. They're not a headliner. Benson Boone ain't the headliner.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Okay, I didn't even like consider. I was always like, I didn't even know like Governor's Ball already happened. I think I found out from like your story and whatnot. And I guess I don't pay attention to like big music festivals and stuff like that. Like I was so tapped out at Coachella this year. I was just like, I actually almost went 2 years ago through my college. There was an potential. We almost had an opportunity to go as part of my college's radio station.
That's so sick, though.
It was so close to happening, and then like the logistics, the things just didn't line up and whatnot. But then I started like looking into it and whatnot. I'm like, I would have hated it. And second, like first of all, like I said, the thing about big crowds and whatnot.
Yeah,
but the other thing is like I'm very much a small venue guy. Like I prefer like, if I'm gonna go see an artist live, I want to see them at like a smaller venue. I don't like.
I agree with that. I agree 100% on that. I think it's the better way to experience the artist. And I mean, look, we could get into the whole talk about too, like people who have a song blow up on TikTok. Crowds nowadays don't understand how these things work.
Oh yeah.
Like, and they're so disrespectful. Like they'll literally push people out of the way to get a video of the 15-second clip they like, and then just not sing along to the rest of it or act like they're enjoying it because they make the experience of. Yeah, they make the experience about them. They paid $100 to get a TikTok, and that's pathetic.
That's insane. That's actually like, I couldn't imagine.
But you know what I mean? It's like what I mean by the whole punk aesthetic returning is that people who are counterculture are the mainstream now. They are the mainstream now. And it's interesting.
It's the cool thing to be, is what it is.
And that's the thing. So now the real punk thing to do is find something that sounds like nothing else that's going on and do it. Because I hate to be like that. Will Smith's daughter is making some of the best like traditional pop punk music out there right now. You know what I mean?
And it's like never like listened to her stuff besides
she made some really good shit. Transparent Soul's a great track. She's a great talent, but my point is that like literally Govball, for example, was Rich Kid Day Camp. Yeah, that's all it is for the most part. A lot of people who actually want to see these artists are getting priced out of these tickets. But even they were going to JPEG Mafia's concert more than they were going to a Benson Boone. And let me tell you, it was interesting seeing the news that came out of GovBall, because the only person they wrote about the performance of that I saw, I think it was Newsweek, was JPEG Mafia's show. And they said, literally,
wow.
I watched a nerdy kid in a polo shirt with Sperry's on walk out with blood on his shirt with his glasses tilted the wrong way, and he looked like he loved it. And it was like, that was the JPEG pit. I've been in that pit like 5 times now. Peggy has something that gets people moving and
going.
makes people
Absolutely.
kind of like, it defeats the whole like TikTokification. It's like, no, if you're in that pit, you're gonna get your shit rocked and you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, it's
it's
not
a
about
punk
you.
thing.
It's not about you in there.
Yeah, it's about the experience. It's about the energy. It's about how you feel, and that's getting back to what makes live music great.
It's the experience. It's not about you. That's the
Yeah.
You know.
And so some people would argue that JPEG isn't counterculture anymore, and I find that interesting because, you know what, I'm seeing a lot of musicians with like a very, like the punk rock thing that's happening right now that I'm seeing in the actual underground that I'm a part of. Like, you know, a lot, like, for example, and I'm shouting this person out because she's one of my favorite musicians that I get to work with. I Love You So Much. Her name is I Love You So Much. ILYSM. She's releasing an album later this month, if you get a chance. So at the moment, it is just called Burger, but it will have a different name when it drops. You'll know it.
Please keep that name.
Well, there's a larger name. I'll tell you it off screen.
Oh, okay.
Ailey's very secretive about that name. It's just the album known as Burger.
You.
There's a jazz... There's a smooth jazz ballad on that.
Oh.
There's also a Weezer like esque song, like a very like straightforward indie garage rock song. She's a hyper pop rapper.
Wow.
So see how that made you go wow first before anything? The first thing you said was wow.
Yeah.
Isn't that interesting?
Absolutely.
It makes you want to look at it.
I was gonna say now I'm kind of sold. I'm like, well, first you led with like the jazz thing. I'm like, oh, so it's kind of like an underground jazz thing, and then you said Weezer, and I'm like, oh, okay, I can maybe see. You know, I knew some like band kids that were kind of like jazz nerds too, and then you say, oh, hyper pop rapper, and I'm like, now I have to listen to this.
You want to know why? Because that's the mindset of punk. It's to be so audacious and against the grain of what people conventionally think you are that you have to look at it. That is literally the definition of punk fashion.
Oh, fuck.
So if you think about it, why do you think so many like jazz bands, why do you think fucking Black Midi and Jordy Greep are so popular with metal people?
Oh, because no, yeah, it's 100% the same thing. You have to look. You have to like.
You can't look away from it because it's so good at being so other from. It's stuff that your grandfather would probably fuck with, but
that is also a very good point. Is that like I've played back when I did my radio show, right? Like my family would like listen in, right? And I would play Black Midi. I would play like all these like the kind of things that you're talking about. And my parents would be like, "That's like amazing. I didn't know that people were still making music like this."
Like that.
They didn't even like know, like it's so like I don't know, like that. Wow. Okay, I didn't even like.
That's the new.
I never
punk.
even made that connection.
That is the new punk.
That is wow. You're right.
Listen to Turnstile. Turnstile's considered literally one of the best punk bands of all time. That's not punk music. It's like dream pop. Yeah. And that's what makes it great. They had like hardcore punk roots, and they bring that rhythm, that feeling to a song that is a lot fluffier. It still has the grit, it still has the heaviness, it still has the emotions, but
Absolutely.
like it's got a completely different experience. Mannequin Pussy is a great example. They do
Yes.
They're about as most. I fell in love with them at that show. I had never really given them a fair shake, and now I love them. I watched their whole set front to back. I adored it. They do by the numbers punk, but even then, they'll mix it up in the middle.
You have
to, like I think the internetification of punk has been an interesting thing to follow, because you are getting the things that you'd expect, like whiny vocals and fuck the government and I'm selling drugs and like, you know, like heavy instrumentals.
Stuff, yeah.
But you're getting that from like Two Hollis. You're getting that from like a dude who's making like hyper pop rage music.
Yeah. And I love Two Hollis.
I would say genuinely,
that's my newest discovery right now. Actually, is Two Hollis right now.
He's fucking awesome. I actually really like him.
Originally I was like I like when somebody was telling me about Two Hollis for the first time, which was like 2 months ago, I think, or like a month ago or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, I'm probably like too old for this shit, because he was like a younger kid telling me about it. He was like 19. I'm like, I'm probably too old for this shit. And then I listened to it. I'm like, oh wow, this is like right up my alley. I fucking love this. Like this is
Yeah.
fantastic.
Good
Jeans is a
music
great song.
transcends.
Yeah.
It is a great song. It's a great song.
Yeah.
But like good music transcends age to me. It's like, look,
Yes,
I'm
yes.
in my mid to late 20s. It's like I'm working like what's cool is that I'm seeing my music resonating with a lot of the creatives that are like 22, 23. And they're like, yeah, no, like you're on something different, like something I can't do, and that's exciting. And that's when that's why I've realized it's like, yeah, the weird goofy indie pop stuff I do is what, like, you know, that's my thing.
Resonates with
That
people.
is how I stand out. And it's like, I'm not saying that to be like I'm punk. I'm far from it. I do love punk. I appreciate
You're the
punk.
edgiest, most punk rocker guy I know, dude. You go
Everybody's-
crazy in the pit, you know?
I do go crazy in a pit actually. Like I
Oh
was
really?
throwing hands on that
I
shit.
don't. I'm so far
I
removed from that.
I love a good mosh pit. I grew up on like, you know, like all my friends when I was like making bands like way before Hi I'm Chris. They were like Midwest emo shit, front bottoms,
Oh, yeah.
like fucking
Which,
modern
okay,
baseball.
can we talk about Midwest emo real quick?
Yeah, it was good.
It's completely lost its definition.
Yeah, it has.
I've heard so many people like that's one of those things because I loved Midwest emo from like I would say like for me it was like high school like so 2016 ish around when I kind of like started getting into like different bands and stuff like that. For me, it was, the start for it was like Bright Eyes, which I through and through consider to be Midwest emo band.
Great band.
And then like I was like, oh, this like music that I listened to from like I kind of fell out with it like in like 2019 2020 ish, and I heard that it was like popular again, and I listened to it. I'm like, this is just like. I'm like, this is just pop punk music at this point. Like it lost its.
You know what
I
it
don't
is?
know.
It is again. You know, there's a great concept that I learned from one of my professors in college, which is that everything now is a remix. The internet
That's-
completely changed the way people develop sounds. It's no longer. There's a group of people in the Midwest. Let's say Illinois, right? That
Right.
are playing their instruments, learning them together, sounding a certain way, and because they sound a certain way, they can only play shows together, and because they only play shows together, people who go to those shows religiously, and it builds from a singular point in the world out. That is where music used to be. That is why you have the Delta blues that turns into jazz when it moves up the Mississippi River in Chicago, and then it moves outwards of the country from there. You know, it goes from New Orleans to Chicago. Like, you can follow it. New Orleans, Chicago with, like, Jelly Roll Morton, out. That's how it formed. With rock and roll, you have the Gospels mixing with the Southern blues with people like Sister Rosetta Tharpe, Little Richard. Then Elvis Presley makes it white people stuff. And then
Yeah.
it blows the fuck up. But then it changes, and you can actually see where it changes based on region, because that's how information and media
Travels.
and art travels,
Yeah.
right? So nowadays, you can have, and I'm going to use this as an example because it's a real thing. You have a DJ in Miami who really likes the movie Rocky, the 1997 Philadelphia boxing film. He's a dude that makes club music. So he literally flips the horn stabs from Rocky's music into a Miami bass track because he's from Miami and that's what he grew up with, but he loves this movie from Philadelphia. So he flips it. It gets caught up in the blog scene online. A young kid in the favelas of Brazil hears this Miami bass edit with the Rocky stab and goes, "This is really cool. I'm gonna make one of these too." Takes the sampled song, flips it himself, and adds in influences from Brazilian work that he knows, so that it plays in the Brazilian clubs. This is the first baile funk track, which would eventually make its way back to the United States after becoming a completely different thing than the original thing, which is like,
Right.
it's like everything is compressed under really heavy kicks and a really high-pitched synth. It comes back in. Everybody starts memeing on baile funk track inside of the United States. Then you get funk, P-H-O-N-K music that's forming out of the old Memphis, Tennessee shit, people like Raider Clan, Denzel Curry. Because one's just called funk, F-U-N-K, and one's called funk, they mix together. And now you have a completely different subgenre of the subgenre of the subgenre of hip-hop that came from a subgenre of dance music from a singular remix of a movie.
That's
How culture works now. You and me could sit down and make a song today and it's going to sound completely different than a guy across the street from me. Why? Because we don't talk to each other anymore. I talk to you over Discord. It's like
Right.
that's how the world communicates now. You're more like
That's-
more people travel to see their friends than ever.
That's true. Holy shit. That you've blown my mind like several times on this episode.
That's how the
Like,
world works. It's
or just
cool.
like even things that like I'm sure like I've thought about these things in passing, but I've never like really talked them out or like because like it's
cool.
Obviously, like we all know like how things travel and whatnot, and how like things change with with time and different people playing them and whatnot. That is actually like you actually kind of just like this is I think we found the title for the episode, a music history lesson with Hi, I'm Chris.
It's fun to talk about this shit. This is my jam. This is
is,
what I like
it
geeking out
is.
about. Yeah,
So-
it's
I actually wanted to ask you a question because we are getting towards the end of the main episode.
word.
So I wanna point this. I wanna ask you. Let me see. What's a good question to end the main portion of the episode? Then we'll do like half an hour on Patreon if you're down for that. You got time?
yeah,
Swag.
yeah.
All right. Oh, okay. I want to actually like kind of dive into your childhood a little bit here.
Word.
Kind of like I'm like a therapist right now. What was one moment in your childhood, or any point in your life, that you decided that like I'm gonna pursue music? Like where did the idea? I guess like actually I want to pinpoint it to specifically to Hi, I'm Chris as a project.
Hi, I'm Chris is a project.
Yes.
I mean, look, I started way later than most people do with music. I did. I started releasing music at 2021. Most people are releasing when they're like 17 nowadays. It's like
Yeah. How do you think I feel about having had like started doing like content at like 23?
Yeah,
So,
no,
like,
I mean, there's
I'm-
nothing wrong with it. There's never a bad time to start. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like we're getting places, and it's cool. It's fun.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, it's like I knew I wanted to do music. If we're talking specifically Hi, I'm Chris, or do I got to go further back?
I would say specifically Hi, I'm Chris. Where did this project spawn from? Oh,
This-
have I ever told you the origin of how I found your music like years ago?
No, I didn't. No, yeah, you told me you listened like
Okay.
early off. What's good?
Oh, dude, yeah. I was on a back when I was in community college. It was like had to have been early 2020, right before the pandemic hit.
Okay, that's right
I
when
was-
most people really started like finding my shit. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was smoking on a parking garage with my friend, and I remember I was like at the time I was trying to like find new music on Spotify. I was looking for like smaller musicians, and Pineapple Soda came on,
Classic.
and the rest was history.
That was my first song.
Really?
That was my first song I ever made, front to back, and it's still my biggest to this day. Not for
Oh,
long,
yeah.
but yeah.
Yeah, not
I
for
mean,
long.
like,
Well, we got a new hit. You're cooking up some new shit. Yeah.
I've got a lot of cool shit coming up, and you know, it's like I'm proud of that thing. It's my there's a reason it's on my arm. You know what I mean? It's like
Oh, word.
I love this
Okay.
thing. But
That's sick as hell. I love
yeah.
that.
It was. I always joked that I would get a tattoo when my first, like a song hit 1 million streams, and when Pineapple Soda did, everybody made me go get one. So
They put you.
that's a
they put
story
you
for
to
another day. Yeah, everybody held me accountable to it. I was like, fuck.
You got to do it. Fuck, dude.
Yeah,
Do you
so
like
actually-
do you like getting tattoos, or are you like a big tattoo guy?
I
or
didn't.
no?
I didn't really want tattoos, so it's like now
Yeah.
I'm like they're gonna be victory trophies. So it's like I want to get like my
Okay.
first as many songs that hit 1 million streams. So I have like 3 or 4 more that I have to, you know,
You
put
gotta-
up on my arm here. But
Yeah.
you know, and what's it called? So when I went to college, you know, like my family was really supportive. You know, like there were some things that happened before that made me decide I want to do music. My dad sat me down. He goes, "Look, you're extremely musically talented." But I'm very lucky to have a family that's supportive of what I do and my dreams. My dad, you know, he sat me down in the back of the porch with like Lucky Charms pajamas on, smoking a cigar, and he's just like, he goes, "You've always wanted to do music. You need to pursue this. This is what makes you happiest." He goes, "But you should pursue it smart." He goes, "You should study music business because that's the part you don't know." And I was like, "That's cool. Let's do it." So I wound up getting a really good scholarship to go to New York University. I wound up, that actually was a full ride. You know, the only thing I paid for it was full tuition. So I had to pay for housing, which is what
Housing, yeah.
I didn't have much student loans, but I've been paying those off for a minute.
Same. Love
yeah,
it.
it's
It's
fun.
so cool.
Everything's falling apart. The world
I wish
on
I
fire.
didn't go to school for writing at the time, right when the writer strike happened, right when I graduated, and then AI became a thing.
Oh,
So
girl.
it's like,
oh, girl,
my-
I know
my
so many
degree is
animators.
great.
I know so many
Oh.
animators that are like shitting themselves, and everything
Yeah.
will be fine. You'll
I
find a
know
way.
it'll kind of as you say, like, this is actually something you say a lot whenever we're in calls. You always say like things will come out in the wash. I'm like, that's kind of like,
Yeah.
I've said that actually. It's actually I want to like not to like I don't know totally suck your dick here for a second, but like
was good.
there's a lot of things that you say that like just in our calls and whatnot that like I like they leave an imprint on me, like in a good
Thanks,
way.
man. That means a lot. You know,
Yeah,
I just want to help people. I just, I like my friends, so I want to help my
yeah,
friends.
appreciate it, dude. Thank you. Yeah, there's a lot of like you've given me some genuinely great advice. I just want to
Thanks,
let you
man.
know that. Yeah, just you
Of
know,
course, and I know that you don't need it. I think you're going to do fine, but sometimes, I mean, look, every day now,
I need
being
to
a
hear it
full-time creator,
sometimes.
everybody needs to hear it sometimes. It's like, I've been going through, like, months where it's like right now, I've been stuck. I've been, like, in writer's block mode for, like, months. I
Yeah,
know I'll get out of it, but it's like, now that there's a pressure on me to be putting things out consistently, I shit myself. And it's
yeah,
like, like some months I've been doing great as a full-time content creator. I'm never going to lie about that. It's like, I'm like, yeah, things go well. Merch sell good. Streams do good. Things up. Me happy. But some months it's been like, oh God, everything's going away. I'm going to die. No one
my
cares about me anymore.
bills. Oh no,
Yeah,
right?
like
Like,
I have health insurance I have to pay, but I
yeah.
also, and it's like, I feel like I've made a huge mistake, but
Oh
it's
yeah.
fighting through that.
Oh,
It's like I'm fighting through that because it's like,
I
like
felt
what.
that. I felt that yesterday, dude.
Dude, the only way
Yeah.
to lose in this shit is to fucking stop.
Is
It's
to
like,
give up. No, like actually, that's what I always like. It's every time like I have a bad day. Like I'll admit,
yeah,
like I had like not like a bad stream in terms of numbers, just like my energy was really low for
it
stream
happens.
yesterday, and I went to bed that night. I'm like, can I still keep doing this? Like, what am I like? What am I doing? And then I woke up today and I'm like, what the like? Why would I give up now? Like, what am I like?
Yeah.
You know?
And it's like, look, I get it because like there are situations where it's like I didn't do music full time until last September. I started.
Yeah.
And I documented it so I could be like, this is where I'm doing things full time and I'm going to work even harder than ever. And I've been doing a pretty good job at it. I've learned a lot about time management,
so.
about like holding myself accountable, so on and so forth. People seem to go like, dude, you look like you're working your ass off. That's a good sign.
That's
if people
definitely a good
think
sign.
it, then I'm working my ass off. It's like, but I told this with Frickety too, where Frickety's like, I don't feel like I belong here and I don't feel, I was like, dude, you've met me, and I asked her this, and not to be a dick, I asked her to be serious. I go, Frickety, do you think I'm successful? She goes, you're like one of the most successful people I know. I go, Frickety, you make like 3 times the money as me. I just quit a job that made me almost $100,000 a year to pursue my music, which makes me $30,000 a year.
Yep.
And before you knew me, I had 20,000 more monthly listeners than I do right now. Do you still think I'm successful? And she goes, yeah. And I go, exactly. So that's fucking stupid to say. Numbers mean nothing.
Yeah.
It's like if I'm doing it and I'm doing it well and I'm getting by, then I'm doing fine. It's
Yeah.
like, and it's like, and I'm happy. That's what I traded the money for. I'm happy.
Happiness, yeah.
It's like,
I
holy
left a
shit.
shitty job to pursue this, basically. I mean, not that I was making $100,000 a year at my last job. I was probably making about 30,000. And I
I mean, I
had
was
to,
making
like,
60K, but plus the music, it was making me almost 100. So
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
see. Yeah, no. For me, I walked away from a. I was a okay. I've actually I've shared it on stream before. I can share it here. I was
Yeah.
a mall carousel operator, and that just tanked my fucking mental health, dude.
that would
Can
do
you
it.
imagine-
That's a tough one.
Can you imagine going to school, going to college, being like, I graduated like I was like honors student, all this other shit, right, in college,
Yep.
going through all this stuff, like having all these qualifications, and to show for it, I could become a mall fucking carousel operator.
Oh, imagine me during college just to pay my rent. And like obviously that was at a point where the music was starting to take off, but it's like it wasn't enough to cover my rent.
No.
I worked at a recording studio, and I worked my way up eventually. But for the first 3 years of that, I was a janitor. I cleaned toilets and fixed drum kits, and like I did like service work for musicians. You know how shitty that made me feel? That I was just
yeah.
like, I'm inferior to these other people in every way. And that's how we get to how I made Hi, I'm Chris. Like,
Yeah, that's so it was that like it was being in like a really I don't want to put words in your mouth, but being in like a really shit position pushed you to be like, oh, I really want to pursue this creative thing. Like that pushed you even more to be like, I guess
So-
take it kind of seriously.
Yeah, and it was also it was the mental. This was like I got the job slightly after I made the first song, and that's really where I became Hi, I'm Chris. I just didn't know it yet because I hid it from the world for a year and a half. So I could have started in 2016, but I didn't because I'm stupid, and I thought I sucked instead of believing in myself. So my freshman year, I get into this brand new place with brand new people. I was a kid from, if you've ever been to the western side of New Jersey, it is very more like the countryside. And I was in the woods, and I come out to the big city. I'm that kid from my school, but I didn't think I was hot shit. I thought I was like, oh God, I got to prove myself here. And I started making a bunch of friends. And things were actually going pretty good. I had broken up with my girlfriend at the time. Like we go to college, it was bound to happen.
Yeah.
So I just
That
kind of
time
felt
in
like
your life, yeah.
I didn't know who I was. I had just never been on my own before. It's like I felt like an outcast. I felt weird. I know everybody does. Everybody does.
Yeah.
I was dealing with like depression. I up until like last year was like a very, very anxious person, and it got really bad. It got very unhealthy in the last 2 years of my life. That's why I wrote the beige. But at that point, I was very anxious and stuff, and not to make it like sound like very like dorky, but along comes this dude named Donald J. Trump that suddenly made everybody very acrid and very acrimonious and very much hateful towards one another. People were like, "You're stupid if you support him," and then some people were like, "I don't think he's going to be that." Nobody knew at that time. They were kids. We got thrust into the world of politics, and then like you see, people like just mass dissent. He gets elected. It's like there's gloom and doom. There were professors who were like, "This is a really bad thing that happened, and we're going to take days off of class so you can just decompress." And I was like, what the fuck's going on? And like my friends who like, we had all just been hanging out up to this point were like fighting. They're like, how bad is this going to be? They're like, no, he's not going to be that bad. No, he's going to be like one or two were like, he's going to be good. And it's like, like I was like, I don't know what's going on, and I'm overwhelmed, and I just miss being at home with my family, and I miss my girlfriend. I just like, I was out of my comfort zone, and I didn't know who I was. And I just felt like I wasn't doing anything that I wanted to do yet, and I was like, I haven't had much chance to like try and make music or try and do stuff. I don't know what I want to do, and I just feel like maybe I made a mistake. Maybe I fucked up. So I went to go take a walk. I was going down Washington Square Park. There's a little road next to it called the Washington Mews. It's the oldest road in New York. They never paved it, so it's like old cobblestone, and I'm just walking through this. I go and just take a walk to like clear my head because everybody on the floor is like fucking freaking out and fighting like what's going on. It was just very overwhelming.
Yeah.
Like I just felt the world changing like very quickly, and I was like, I'm living through a big historical thing for the first time. I don't know what's happening, and so I put my headphones on. They were lime green Beats because they sold the shitty colors for way cheaper at Best Buy. I was listening to Earth, Wind, and Fire, I think, and then I just hear something in my left side of my headphones. This I'm like, what the fuck is that? Is my headphone finally broken? I'm like, that's just the last thing I need. And I take the headphone off, and it's a helicopter. And here I am going like, I don't want to think about all this crazy shit that I'm living through right now. And I walked directly into Fifth Avenue into the largest anti-Trump protest in history.
Wow.
The girls with the pussy hats and like, hey,
hell
hey,
yeah.
ho, ho. And I walked with it. I was like, look, I can't fucking avoid it, so I'm just going to roll with it. So, I'm marching along, I'm doing the chants, and I'm like, hey, this is actually kind of cool. It's like everybody's kind of also scared and angry.
There was a little bit of unity there. Yeah.
Yeah, it just felt like righteous anger was it was the first time I felt it. And I was like, this is pretty fucking neat, man. Like, this is like the first time I've ever felt anything like this. And I walk with it to about 14th Street, Union Square. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to let that thing go. And I just watched it pass by. I was like, that was kind of cool. And I walked into the CVS, and I was like, well, everything else has changed. So I was just looking for like something new. I was like, I'm going to try something new today. I didn't realize this when it was all happening. I grabbed a pineapple Fanta. I grabbed that, and I was like, I've never actually had this before. Actually, no, it was a Doritos. That's what it was. Jason made it a pineapple Fanta on the cover art because his only frame of reference for pineapple soda was Fanta.
It was Fanta,
so
yeah.
I got a
I didn't even
Doritos.
know, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I get the Doritos. It's like $1.81. Which is crazy how more expensive they are now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, holy shit.
Yeah, so I go out to the outside. The CVS is under Parsons School of Design, and I'm sitting on the corner watching the protest go by. I popped the thing open with a credit card, I think. I just went, and I'm drinking. I'm like, hey, this is pretty good. And I just started like joking to myself. I'm like, this is probably the best fucking thing I've had happen to me all week. If I'm being real,
that one thing.
This thing,
that little shining, little that glowing pineapple right there for you, the light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Holy shit!
And it was just like this is the best thing that's happened to me all week, and I don't know what clicked in my head, but I was like, this is what I need to write about. I was like, this is the song.
Fuck.
I was just like, and I went home that night, and in my little like shitty Microsoft Surface tablet, I wrote the lyrics with people rushing, picket signs. Well, it's a wonder you can find the time to hate me when everyone already hates everybody else. And I'm not a moron. I've got a clue, and I've also got this pineapple soda to share with you. That was, And
that's where it all started.
Hi, I'm Chris was just about that's why it's called that. It's about me figuring myself out, and it's just through real shit, through just like
I wanted to like joke about it, but like I can't now. Fuck, like I'm like that's so real.
Yeah, and I was just like, yeah, that's where it came from. I don't know why, I don't know how it came that way, but that is where
in that moment
started.
that just spoke to you. You're like,
and I haven't looked back. Yeah, I've just kept going. I'm like, well, at first I thought the song sucked so bad I hid it away from the world for a year and a half. But after my friends convinced me to put it out there, and it got like 10,000 plays on SoundCloud in 2018, I was like, I should probably do more of this. So I was putting songs out on SoundCloud at the time, and then 2019,
which is like a dead platform right now, but you know.
Yeah, although I will say, because everybody shit on them, they changed their policy about AI, and they've officially put, we will not be using your songs as data for AI. We will not use that at all. So they were like, I was like, good, great, fuck you for even thinking about it in the first place, but good, I'm not taking my shit off the platform. And it is a dying platform. It is sad. I still think Untitled's going to become the new one. But because people yearn for like sharing things instead of an algorithm, they want to share things they actually like. But yeah, I dropped my songs on Spotify in March of 2019. That's when I met Frank JFC. He really liked the song, and then summer of 2019, it just fucking took off on Discover Weekly and changed my life. I was like, oh wow, this I can do this. I can
have it.
Yeah, I mean, like the day that I realized that I needed to pursue this was like the first piece of fan art, or the first fan message I ever got was this like kid named Megan. She sent me an email. She's from Australia, and she was just like, I never had somebody like relate to the feelings that I felt the way that you did, and I'll be following your career as long as I can. And I was just like, and send me this email. I still have it. I look at it a lot, and that's what operating system on Surge Protect was about. It's like, this was the moment where I realized that no, this is what I have to do. I was like, if I can make a positive difference in like one person's life, you know, it's like that's the most important thing I think you can do is leave a net positive. And I was like, this is what I need to do. It's like, I don't care if it ends at some point, it ends. It's like, I need to do this.
You need to do it for as long as you can do it, and you know.
Yep.
All right. It was it very much like a. I mean, we do have to wrap up the main portion of the episode here, but I have like one last little follow-up question. Then we'll switch on over to the Patreon and do a little half-hour segment over there, I guess. Because I forgot that I'm going out tonight, and I totally forgot that I'm going to the bar later.
Oh shit!
But I still have plenty of time. I just want to like get ready. Yeah, but anyways, my follow-up question to that was, oh god, are you a I always live by this mentality, especially when it came to me like pursuing streaming and like you know, everything that I do creatively, was that like I can live with having had tried and failed, then I would, but then like rather live with the regret of like never had even like tried. Like I can wake up one morning when I'm 35, 37 or whatever, living in my mom's basement or something, and be like, well, it didn't work out, and then, you know, move on with my, obviously that's drastic, and that's, you know, that's
and
next
it's like,
year for me. No, I'm kidding.
Don't you shouldn't have shame in like being like, okay, to me a good idea is to never give up on it. It's to pivot. It's pivot, just like it's like, okay, I can't do this full time right now. I'll just do it a little bit less, but I'll keep working on it, learn some new skills, and do it part time. I had a good friend of mine. He has a music promotion podcast, and he was like, I think I want to end it. He goes like, I don't want to. It's just not gaining traction. It sucks. And I was like, dude, let's rethink it. Instead of ending it, why don't we? You have a good idea at your core. You want to help grow the underground, and people are doing that all the time. Why, instead of doing a medium that there's already hypersaturated, and it's like there's really only 4 big podcasters in the world?
Yeah,
you're like, why not do short form video content? Why not do video essays with the same shit? Just keep inviting
same
your
idea.
guests.
Like same idea and everything, but just like different format. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
And he was like, "Oh, that actually makes a lot of sense." And I'm like, "Yeah, see, it's like why does it have to end? Why don't you just try something new?" I was like, if this of it ain't working, it's like with my music, it's like there's nothing that's been going wrong, but it's like I wanted to prove to myself that I wasn't going to get safe with it, you know, because I'm doing full time. I'm not going to make Pineapple Soda 8 because I know that that's what people really want from me. It's like I picked up the guitar. I'm working on an indie rock project.
Oh, right now. Okay. I was actually going to ask you that. I was like, what's the next big, like, I guess this will be our concluding question. What's the next big genre that you're going to push into?
I made a song that I've been struggling to write recently. I've
Yeah.
been feeling like I have no creative spark, and I'm like, I can't come up with new shit, and it's been frustrating because there's a lot I need to do. Surge Protector Deluxe has to get done. I finished 1 or 2 songs for them
wow,
that I'm really
okay.
proud of. And when I'm not like 100% proud of a song, I will tell Rough Patch, I'm like, delete it. I'm like, that's not it.
Scrap it.
Yeah, no, I'm like, I'm not putting out something that I think is mid. It's like, I'm not putting something out just to put it out. I'm not phoning it in. But
Never do
my little
that.
brother,
Never
my
do
little
that.
brother was like, I was really down on myself, and he's like, dude, like, you just gotta keep working harder. He's like, there's always something you can do.
Yeah.
And I was like, how much harder can I work? He's like, pick up an instrument. He's like, why don't you try learning an instrument? And he was like, I gave you a guitar for your birthday a couple years ago. You haven't touched it. And he's right. And I was like, all right. So I bought some strings. I learned how to string the guitar myself. I fixed it. Pickup's still a little funky. I got a mixer, put it in, got some pedals, and I made, the first time I picked it up, I learned some bar chords. I learned like rhythm guitar, I'd say, like basic rhythm guitar, like the bar chords and everything that I need. About a week.
Yeah,
and
just following along with the song, yeah.
I made a song, and I just immediately
yeah.
I just made a song, and I was like, I really like this one, and I showed it to a bunch of people, and they're like, this is really good. It sounds like you from a parallel universe, and I'm like, excellent.
That's it. That's the whole, like, that's almost like a little bit like what we were talking about before with oh my god, I'm losing my train of thought. What was it? With like when you were explaining that one artist who has the album coming out that's like has like a jazz.
I love you so much. Yeah, Illy is the best. Meryl's the best. She's fucking awesome.
I was like, oh, that's kind of like that thing. I was like, oh, that's the thing that like that's the key to the album is like
yeah,
it sounds like you but from a parallel universe. I'm like, oh, that would be interesting because I already know your music, and I'm like, and so do a lot of other people. It's like, oh, well, what does that sound like?
Yeah, and it's like, I'm willing to give it a shot, and it's like, after seeing so many people fuck with Surge Protector and then give it a chance when I was worried, like, they'd be like, you've changed, you've switched genres, this isn't what we want from you. And it's like, I never got that once. I just got, yo, that was really cool.
Yeah.
And it's
do
just like,
something cool. Don't
it's like,
fucking...
yeah, have people said like, this album has changed my life the way Siba Let Go or like The Beige, they've told me? No, but that's not what
It's
that's
still
for.
cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Surge Protector's a victory lap, dude, for me. I'm like, I'm doing this full time and I'm happy.
Yeah, it's definitely how I felt when I was listening to it. You know, back when it came out, and I was like, oh wow, I was like, oh okay, this is a lot different from like the Beige and whatnot.
Yeah, it's very, very different, and I'm cool with that.
That's good. That's growth. Well, I guess because we should conclude the main portion of the episode here.
Yay!
And then we'll switch on over to the Patreon, give a quick little half hour. I have a few more questions, but we can kind of fuck around a little more on the Patreon.
Yeah,
It's
for
a little
sure.
more of we'll probably answer the cocker balls question on there.
Word.
What was I gonna say? What's your final message for the world?
The final message for the whole
Wait,
world?
a final message for the world. Like, what's Hi, I'm Chris's message to the world?
Do what you love, do it well, get a little bit better at what you love to do every day, and make something. Make something cool. I didn't think this shit would change my life, and I'm not that good at it. You can do it too. You can do it. Go make a movie. Go make the video essay. Go start a live stream. It's like, just
start. Just start.
So many people are so focused on fucking thinking instead of just doing, and they do nothing. And then they can think about why they didn't do shit later. It's like, genuinely, just start learning a skill. You want to do something cool, go do cool shit. Seriously. And be who you are. We all need to be who we are. So just be you. Do it. Doesn't sound like anybody else? Good. It doesn't look like anybody else's edits? Good. Go fucking make some weird shit and have fun and meet people who fuck with it. And if you build it, they will come.
Perfect.
The end.
Well, if you want to hear, the end. If you'd like to hear some more of our yaps into the void here, you can go on over to the Patreon and give me money.
Yep,
come on.
Yep,
There we go.
yep,
Come on,
yep,
make
yep,
it rain.
yep,
$5,
yep.
$5 a month.
I was hoping that I had
begging.
I had like a little piggy bank full of like yen. I was gonna throw yen at you, like Japanese yen. That would have been fun.